Hello and welcome to another Mass Talk. So we had our 4th of July party on the 4th of July and it went pretty well. Not as many people showed up as usual this year, but I kind of think it was a combination of things. My friends couldn't come because they were working, and we had it on a Friday instead of a Saturday. Because usually, I guess, we don't usually do it on the 4th of July. There's one year that we did. But really, we could have pushed it to Saturday instead, which maybe would have been better and would have been less stressful for us. But it was still a good day, for the most part. So, we had a ton of food. And we had some leftovers, but, not enough that we couldn't handle them, really. My cat's gonna come in here. You come in, Snick? Hi, baby. And so, we had a good amount of leftover mac and cheese, which I think is because the mac and cheese got not hot quick. I don't know that my husband left it in the smoker long enough, really. But my mother-in-law did come up to me and was like, mac and cheese needs to be reheated. And I was like, that's nice. I was not going to reheat the mac and cheese. If you wanted a non-cold mac and cheese, you can go in the house and reheat it. But I'm not doing that. This cat. But we had a little bit of meat left that I've been eating all week, mostly sandwiches. We have a little bit of sausage, peppers, and onions left. We had some dip left, and then we only had a couple of my stuffed pepper sliders that we haven't eaten. I don't know that those are gonna eat. There's only a few left. People coming in and out, Sneak. But people seem to enjoy themselves. They're mingling. Some of my in-laws had to leave early because my husband's cousin was singing, and they're going to go catch that. Here, Snake, you want some water? So, I think they went and did that. There's only one child, but she was able to prompt some of us adults to do some tie-dye, and nobody really did the shirt pressing, and I didn't make too many of the stencils to do that with anyways, because I kind of figured that a lot of people would, but I used them afterwards because I made me and my husband tie-dye shirts, and then I pressed on top of those, and I was very excited for how they came out. They look pretty good, so that was nice. And then Sophie and our nephew's girlfriend painted some rocks. So rock painting is also another thing we do every year. And I got one rock from that because they took the other rocks home, which is fine. But we usually put them in the front garden. And I've started to put Mod Podge over them to help them last a little bit longer, because I've noticed they only last for a few months, a year, and then they're not there anymore. What else? We had s'mores, so that was nice. I was gonna make the pumpkin cupcakes, and then I decided not to do that, because I decided it was too much work, and didn't really make a lot of sense to me. And then I was thinking about making apple tart things, but I was like, oh, it's easy, you just have them with cookies and you can leave cookies out, it's whatever. So I make these gluten-free peanut butter chocolate chip cookies, and so I really wanted to make some white chocolate chip versions, and so I attempted to make these cookies. And in my head, I was making 2 batches because I wanted the chocolate chip ones and the white chocolate chip ones. And I put 2 eggs into 1 batch because I didn't have enough peanut butter to make 2 batches. Really sick? So they were not much cookies. They were very gooey. So then I turned them into chocolate balls. So I basically put them in the blender, and I made 2 different batches of these. Put them in the blender with some cream cheese, and did I add anything else? Well, to the white chocolate chip ones, I added more sugar. So I added powdered sugar because they were too sticky to kind of roll together. And then I covered them in melted chocolate, and then I topped them with peanuts. And those were a big hit. Not all of them were eaten because we had to like take them out of the fridge and serve them, but they were eaten by the end of the weekend because my husband just devoured the rest of them. The chocolate ones were very chocolatey, but the white chocolate chip ones were more peanut buttery, and so we seem to have liked that. Oh, hi, Snick. So that was nice. But the big, basically, ending to our party was we had let Snickers roam around during the party because my husband was like, he won't go far. He does pretty good when we're around. And he didn't go far. I give him credit. I don't think he went into the neighbors. I don't think he went in the road. He stuck around the house and the garage, whatever. Near the end of the night, he got a little adventurous, and he went to the shed. Now, the shed has a cat that lives in it. That's a mama cat, has kittens in our shed. We'd love to capture her and fix her so there's not a rampage of kittens in our neighborhood. But she's very feral and does not want anything to do with us. My husband did pet her one time, like years ago, but I didn't realize at that time that she was a feral cat. I thought she was somebody's cat. Which maybe she was, but she appeared when my new neighbors came. So either I thought like she was my new neighbor's cat, or now I'm thinking maybe the neighbors that lived there before had this cat and abandoned it. Maybe that's a thing. I don't know. I just had that thought. But anyways, the 2 days before that, I had saw a skunk in that shed. And I was like, oh, there's a skunk hanging out in there. And maybe it's my fault because I had been feeding the mama cat because I felt bad that the mama cat was having kittens, and I felt bad for the kittens, so I was like, oh, I'll feed them. I think the skunk was eating the food too. And so my cat's over there. My husband hears a thud, 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 and tells him, hey, get out of there. But of course he's a cat. He don't listen. So he got sprayed by a skunk. He came running over to me, and he's like wiping his eyes, and I didn't know what happened at first. And I look at him, and he's got yellow all over him, and his eyes are like this, and he just goes meow, like the saddest meow. And I broke my heart, and I was like, well, what do I do? And my mom's friend's like, you gotta take like a washcloth and wipe off his eyes. So I scooped him up, him and all of his stink, and I ran him upstairs to this bathroom, and I, yeah, kind of like that, and I wiped off his eyes, and then we gave him a bath. There's still people here. His mom and dad were leaving at that time, and then my mom left because her and her friend could not stand the skunk smell. It wasn't that bad, but they couldn't stand the skunk smell, so they left. And then we gave him like first we just kind of washed him off, and we just like held water like on his head, and he actually moved his face into the water a couple of times because he realized it was helping him. And this cat hates baths like a lot of cats do, but he was like, yes, please, relief. And then we kind of like let him go. I changed because I smelled like skunk. And then we went back outside, and I actually had a s'more. And then the remainder of the party left. And then we went back inside and we were like, all right, we're going to give him another bath with some tomato paste to help with the smell, which it did help with the smell. Now, he's still a little smelly, but most of the smell is like coming from his collar. So we got him a new collar because the collar stunk, and I don't think I was going to get the smell out of it. But the problem is that one of the tags that he has, it just won't come out of the tag. It just won't. So he's just walking around with a smelly tag. I mean, I'm hoping that eventually the smell just kind of goes away. But I don't know. I don't know how that works. I know they say like it could take up to like 2 weeks or something for the smell to go away. But I don't know how it works when it's on metal. Like, we put the tag in the tomato paste and left it there. And then I had it soaked with bleach. And then I had it soaking in some vinegar. It just wasn't working. So I was just like, alright, well, just put it back on him because he was so upset he wanted to go back outside. Not to roam, just in his enclosure. But I was like, you're not going back outside without your tags on. Because I do not trust people. And I feel like someone would accuse him of having rabies after he bites them. And then he would have to get his head chopped off to make sure that he doesn't have rabies. And we're not doing that. So I just put it back on him. But now he's a stained, smelly cat. And that was my 4th of July adventure. Pretty great. So, yep. I'll see you guys next week, and hopefully my cat isn't smelly anymore.